because we wanted to engage young Mexicans into this process. So the goal of Cuidemos el Voto wasn't to track or monitor elections. It was civic engagement of young Mexicans into the political process. Although we worked with NGOs who were trained to do the election monitoring, for me, the main goal was to create like a movement that young Mexicans can adopt and participate in this process, because right now we're losing these civic duties in the society. So then, trust. Trust is a very important mechanism, and it's paramount, for the success or failure of a project. There are a lot of projects that are being implemented in Latin America, and I always say that everybody thinks that the problem in Mexico is drug-related violence. Drug-related violence is not the problem. It's not even the disease. It's just a symptom. The disease is corruption, lack of accountability, and transparency. So if citizens don't trust the government, they're not even citizens. They're just people. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to convert people into citizens, giving them civic values, engage them, to participate in daily basis, and gain trust or regain trust in institutions. Because right now people, they don't report. The first thing, if you go to Mexico City, the first thing people is going to tell you is, if you're in trouble, don't call the police. So that, it's kind of the way they think right now, or we think. So network means people, not computers or phones. So when you're talking about network, it's like you have to create structure. You have to have like offline structure. If you don't do that, you're in risk. I think the latest example of this is how people in Latin America, people think that Obama won because he used Twitter or Facebook, and that's wrong. The clear example of that is Antanas Mockus in Colombia. This guy won in Twitter, won in Facebook, but lost the election because most of his supporters they were not even registered to vote. But they were supporting this guy because it's easy to click a link and say, okay, I support this guy and I like this guy. But, I don't know, going to the polling stations and voting for this guy is a different story. So you have to rely on people, not on networks or computers. Yeah, let power use around the show. Sometimes you're gonna, for this internet necessary. This is the meeting with the Senate. This guy is the president of the Senate. So it was fun because one guy was live streaming the meeting, using his cell phone. So we were actually talking with this guy, the president of the Senate, and the guy said, "Okay, I promise you that I'm gonna review this law, and I'm gonna do something about it." So one of his advisors told him, "Your life, they're like streaming this meeting," and the guy said, "Okay, so that means that I have to do it." And then, 5 minutes after that, it was in the headline, in the main newspapers in Mexico. So it was very difficult because we have to pick up some people as a spokesperson. So you have to identify who are the influencers and let them, run the show. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. So be ready to get media attention. You can start on Twitter, but if you know how to detect, how you identify the right decision makers or right influencers, you can easily go from Twitter to mainstream media. Both Cuidemos el Voto and Internet Necesario, our marketing budget was $100. And we were able to, with the $100, we were able to get interviews with CNN, BBC, the main Mexican media, and some Latin American blogs and stuff like that. So you can do it. It's not easy, it's hard. If you have a clear strategy and you know how to use new media, you can easily scale up and go to mainstream media. And people, to sum up, people will get involved if you create something, a platform, you have a clear goal. You want to do something, people are gonna use it, as long as you let them. So you cannot control what you are creating using new media or Twitter. If you want to control it, it's gonna be a failure. Just let it go. Internet Necesario, for example, it was like a bunch of independent movements that got together and created one identity. So it was like, as Tim Wright was saying this morning, it's like small movements, creating just one just one. So what's next? My company is building a citizen relationship management. I don't know what it's about. It's a CRM. It's citizen relationship management, because we noticed that governments, they don't have Salesforce, they don't have SAP, so they don't know how to run the show. And I'm not saying that some governments are not working. They are working. There are some governments in Mexico, or municipalities, they're working, but they don't know how to advertise what they're doing. They don't know how to communicate with people. They think that if they got a Twitter account with 40 followers, they're already huge, and they're doing an excellent, like a marketing campaign or PR campaign. So and they have like Twitter account, Facebook account, 10 numbers where you can report. Fax numbers. You have a lot of ways, input methods, mechanisms. So it looks like this. This is the citizens, and they have like tons of mechanisms to report. What we're trying to do in Mexico, it's we're not addressing violence, of course, because we don't want to die. We're addressing like simple stuff. For example, the broken window theory, where water leaking. There's like a public light that's not working, so simple stuff. I used to call it like crime against quality of life. So you can report that. Start reporting, report like small things. We are hoping that we're helping these people to become citizens. And by addressing these small things, the government can actually respond to these demands. For example, there's this water leaking there, or there's like this pothole over there, so they can fix it. Right now they have a lot of mechanisms to report, so we are simplifying this by aggregating everything in just one method. You can use your cell phone. There's like a native application you can download, or there's like SMS or IVR. So we connect all these inputs into one system, which is our CRM. The CRM is gonna organize, allow you to organize the information, and have provides accountability and transparency, because the reporter knows always who opened the ticket, who's working on this ticket, and we provide phone number of these guys, so you can call them and tell him, hey, you're not doing your job. At the end of the day, also we provide statistics, so decision makers or politicians can actually implement public policies based on data, not based on thoughts, because they think that some neighborhood need a school. That's not true. That's not true. I identified that a lot of neighborhoods in Mexico, they need water. So water is first. A lot of the reports are like, it's been like 1 week since I got water running on my house. So we're helping governments. It's like public policies for dummies, but we're providing data that they can actually crunch in 3 seconds, and they can make the right decisions. So this is what we're working on right now, and we have implementations already in Mexico and in Honduras. And we are, that's our new venture, and it's a company, so it's for profit, but applying all the knowledge we gather, working on these social projects. And we're going to continue with these social projects. We're also involved in a couple of projects. One is like Congress monitoring, and the other one is education, because one of the problems in Mexico is education system. So thank you very much, and I'll be happy to.